Hello and welcome to the Fighting Spirit Podcast. As always, I'm Jason, and I'm here to bring you the retrospective for UFC Busan, where Korean Zombie defeated Frankie Edgar in the main event. For us overall, we went 6-7 and 1-1 with the Patreon. So if you listen to my betting tips, you're on the Patreon, you went 1-1, and I think it basically just came out even in that affair. We had picked Ray-Kick and Korean Zombie as the most confident picks. We obviously gut Zombie, missed Ray-Kick via split decision, but it was a pretty close one, and it was pretty close night of fights overall. We had a pretty good run in the middle, and then kind of petered out till we ended up getting really the main event, going, like I said, 6-7 on the night, or morning, depending on how you look at it. Let's get into it, though. Here's the show. Alright, so this took place very early in the morning where I live. In fact, when I woke up, the event had just ended, so I didn't actually get to see any of these. I saw a very small amount of highlights. So this is going to be probably a quick retrospective to close out the year. We're just going to be really going over the picks and some of the stuff that I can see here for the stats. For the closeout of the night. So let's start with the main event. This one actually I did watch. I saw the highlight. It was available on ESPN pretty early on. I don't know about the rest of the card at this point, but I did see this one. And Frankie Edgar came out in typical Frankie Edgar fashion. He tried to push forward. He tried to reach in. Obviously, Zombie's a little bit bigger, larger frame. And Zombie managed to crack him with a really nice left early on that left him staggered. Edgar goes for some panic wrestling, but Zombie ends up taking his back, getting it to the ground. Edgar does manage to get back up, but obviously then Korean Zombie, I keep looking at his name, Chan Sung Jung, so I want to say that. But Zombie manages to pick up a KO by knocking Edgar down again and picking up a really good victory. So it was 46 strikes to 9. Edgar didn't do much. I didn't think Edgar really stood a chance, to be perfectly honest, just with that late call-up to take on Zombie. It was just a few days' notice, I think, maybe a little more than a week, and Edgar was not fully prepared to take on a fighter like Zombie. I think Edgar's run really is over at 145 and 155 for any kind of high echelon. He's going to have to go down to 135, where I think his frame makes a little more sense. And he hasn't seen any of those fighters down there yet either. So I think besides the tape on him, that is going to also help him as well. But he's 38 years of age, so the weight cut could be tough. We'll see what happens for Edgar. He is a legend, though. He's a former 155-pound champion, and he's had an amazing career. But his run now at these slightly higher weight classes, not that 145 is heavy, but he's going to have to go down, I think, to find success going forward. In the next one, kind of a weird call. We had Ozdemir defeat Ray-Kick via split decision. However, Ray-Kick outstruck Ozdemir 75-63, also scored a takedown and went for a submission attempt. So these are the fights I felt the most confident about, was Zombie and Ray-Kick, and I think we may have had a slight robbery here on the Ray-Kick call. I believe that Ray-Kick did a good amount of damage too. I saw a really kind of sketchy YouTube recording. Maybe it was somebody there that had posted it, and it looked like Ray-Kick had done some damage from what I had seen, and I don't know how they gave it ultimately to Ozdemir. Like I said, I didn't see this one, but it ends up going split decision. We ended up not getting it correct, but I think, like I said, Ray-Kick got slightly robbed here looking at the end figures. We'll see how things play out in the future, but I think good things are still in store for Ray-Kick. He just couldn't shut the door and leave it in the judge's hand. Had to leave it in the judge's hands tonight. So, is what it is. We pick up an L on that one. In the next one, another L here for us. Charles Jourdain defeats Doo Ho Choi. I, in this one, said Air Jourdain was going to get dunked on by Choi. That was not the case at all. Jourdain lit him up in the second round and manages to pick up fight of the night and some KO money there. So, hats off to Jourdain. I saw him doing the interview, actually, when I woke up. That was the what I saw. I was like, am I on the wrong channel? No, I just had missed the entire event because of this, early Korean start. So, is what it is. Typically I try to watch them all, but just couldn't manage to catch this one early enough in the morning. So, anyways, we ended up picking up an L on that one. In the following one, we had Da An Jung defeat Mike Rodriguez. In this one, I was this is a heavy grain of salter, but Mike Slow Rodriguez picks up an L here. I did go with him. I was going with one of the Lozon guys. It was kind of a close fight to call from a number perspective, And, because these guys are so big, they managed to pick up a knockout very early on. So a minute into the first round, Jung picks up the KO against Rodriguez. In next one, we were not able to get correct either. Jung Young Park defeats Marc-Andre Barrier. I was picking Barrier here. He was outstruck 77-51 and could not manage to stay on his feet very much because he was taken down 5 times. Barrier was, a good Canadian-looking product, but, we'll have to see what he does in the future because he could not get a win in Busan. Moving on to some better numbers here. These are some W's for us. Kai Young Ho Kang defeats Li Pingyong. So this was, Ho Kang coming out in, I think, good fashion against the Chinese fighter. He was outstruck, but he did get him to the ground 3 times, and I think that was enough to tip it into his favor. And so I understand this split decision. I'm still a little bit confused by the right kick one, but this one made sense, even though he was slightly outstruck. The 3 takedowns, I think, cemented it, and it was a good call for split, and we get that correct. In the next one, we had Cyril Gane defeat Tanner Boser. This one did not end up getting a stoppage like I thought it would. We ended up having Cyril Gane go the distance, but he outstruck Boser 2-1, and I would have to assume that he looked all the better than Boser. But Boser must have given him some kind of fight, though, because he was not able to shut the door like we've seen Gane do 5 other times. So this one, we had Gane pick up a W. I said it was a bet the house situation. And, there just wasn't much money to make there, though, because he was like a minus 650 going in. But he picked up a win for us, and so I am happy about it. And the next one, Sungwoo Choi defeats Suman Mokhtarian. I got Choi. I had called this one. He outstruck him 3-1. He certainly looked like the much better fighter in there, and he picked up a phenomenal victory for us. In the next one, Please Don't Burn Me Pantoja. Well, he does not. He knocks out Matt Schnell. He looked really good. He's coming back from that Figueiredo defeat, so I am happy to see the Cannibal Pantoja picking up a phenomenal victory, so I was happy to have called that one. In the next one, we had, and this is a debuting bout, Omar Morales defeat Dong Young Ma. This one was a victory for us. We called it correctly. He outstruck him 2-1 and picks up a great unanimous decision. In the last 3, these are ones we did not get correct. Rony Barcelos defeats Saeed Nurmagomedov. This was a great bantamweight matchup, and Barcelos, even though he was outstruck, scored 2 additional takedowns, made several passes on the ground, so it makes sense. I believe that is a good call. And the next one, we had Amanda Lemos defeat Miranda Granger. This one was choked out very early. Granger could not keep Amanda off her back, and so she ends up getting a rear naked choke win, and we ended up picking up an L on that one. And then the last one, Heli Alatang defeats Ryan Benoit. We had Benoit outstrike Alatang 68-47, but he was taken down quite a bit with 4 takedowns to Alatang. So again, I think this was an accurate split decision because of those 4 takedowns. So the only robbery on the night I really think was Ozdemir. In this one, just looking purely at the numbers and some of what I saw on some highlights. For most of these fights, I didn't really see anything here. I'm pretty sure that's evident as part of this small retrospective. This was one of those retrospectives really just to go over how we did from the numbers, and just want to throw out there that, I gave up betting really on the international cards for the most part because of the lack of information, and I think this goes ahead and proves it some more. We were not able to get over that 50% mark, and even if we had gotten the Ray Kick fight, we would have ended up going just over. So, hey, maybe we should have been 7-6 the other way, but that's just not the way reality played out for us. So, I ended up having an okay night. I'm not upset about it because it was international. I didn't go deep on anything, and obviously Zombie and Ray Kick was pretty much a push. You win one, you lost the other, and they were pretty close as far as being favored goes. So, anyways, this is the last one really to close out the year. I know I had kind of wished everybody a happy holiday on the fight picks. I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to drag it out, but I do want to thank everyone for listening to the show, for following us on YouTube, for subscribing to the podcast. And we'll be back coming early 2020 now. I actually did do Cerrone and McGregor this morning. I'm not going to give that one away, though. It's really the only big fight on the card, but I am going to say one thing about it. All of the metrics, the 3 of them that I'm running right now, all of them pick the same fighter. So I am confident about that call. Could it be Cowboy? Could it be Cerrone? Could it be Cowboy? Could it be Cerrone? That's not a giveaway. But could it be Cowboy? Could it be McGregor? we are going to find out. And I'll talk more about that one later. I obviously have a lot of thoughts about the guy that I picked. And, it's going to be interesting either way, and I think for both guys, it's with who's going to show up, Is it going to be, Cowboy of old? Is it going to be Connor of old? Is it going to be Dad Cerrone, where he goes out and kicks a lot of ass? Is it going to be, McGregor we've seen struggle with certain vices lately? We have no idea what we're going to get out of those guys, and I'll talk more about it when we actually get to that Fight Pick show. So I'm probably going to try to sneak out a liquor review before the first, and then we'll probably do one leading into UFC 246, taking place on January 18th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just one small disclaimer out there, and it has nothing to do with my show, but I did read this recently, and it's something to keep in mind for anybody planning on purchasing that pay-per-view. They are raising the price to $64.99 for UFC pay-per-views going forward, so they're making a $5 increase, which is, in my personal opinion, a little bit of bullshit. You already pay $5 a month to have the ESPN Plus, okay? And now they're raising the price of the pay-per-view. I just want to say this. I think I've said it on Twitter. Just sell me a single UFC thing that I can pay even a large sum of money for. If you wanted to charge me $20 or I don't want to pay this much, but let's say, all the pay-per-views were free. I just got to watch everything. $30 a month, I would have that. I would just have it subscribed. I would watch all of them, and I would have a good value. I would also be paying you more monthly directly to you, like WWE does for all of their entertainment, right? Maybe, that model just doesn't work with the fighters because of pay-per-view points or something, but we got to have a better system. I do not like this idea that the prices are going up and yet we're paying a monthly fee just to even have access to it, to even, open that door. So I'm really not happy about the current state of affairs for how we can view MMA, but it is what it is, and, I got no other choice, right? I got no other choice. I can't watch it through any other outlet, and it's just a little upsetting for me. So hopefully, this decade I'll have a better, kind of a UFC Fight Pass or ESPN Plus setup. ESPN Plus, premium edition that just gives you everything. That's really what I want for the UFC. ESPN doesn't have anything else like the UFC. This is the only kind of pay-per-views that they run. So sell me ESPN Plus Premium, and I'll pay you $20 a month to watch everything, please. Anyways, I'm rambling about that. Kind of just makes me a little bit salty. But, we'll be back with that UFC 246 show. Those fight picks will be coming out. We're also going to be coming out with those liquor reviews. So until I speak with you again, have a happy new year and happy fight picking.